In this presentation, we will look at two modern-day drugs that are particularly dangerous. They are fentanyl and methamphetamine. Now let's look at a Christian view of modern drug use, Part 2. Fentanyl. What is fentanyl? It is a potent synthetic opioid drug approved by the Food and Drug Administration for use as a pain reliever. It is approximately 100 times more potent than morphine and 50 times more potent than heroin as a painkiller. What are some of its street names? It's called Apache, China Girl, Chinatown, Dance Fever, Friend, Goodfellas, Great Bear, He-Man, Jackpot. It's also called King Ivory, Murder 8, Poison, and Tango and Cash. What does it look like? Secretly produced fentanyl is encountered either as a powder or in fake tablets and is sold alone or in combination with other drugs such as heroin or cocaine. How is it used? Fentanyl can be injected, snorted, smoked. It can be taken orally as a pill or a tablet. It can be applied as a patch, sold alone or in combination with heroin and other substances, and it has been identified in fake pills mimicking pharmaceutical drugs such as oxycodone. Fentanyl patches are misused by removing its gel contents and then injecting or ingesting its contents. Patches have also been frozen, cut into pieces, and placed under the tongue or in the cheek cavity. What is the effect of fentanyl on the body? Similar to other opioid analgesics, fentanyl produces such effects as relaxation, euphoria, pain relief, sedation, confusion, drowsiness, dizziness, nausea and vomiting, urinary retention, and respiratory depression. What are the effects of an overdose? Overdose can cause stupor, changes in pupil size, clammy skin, coma, and respiratory failure leading to death. The presence of a triad of symptoms such as coma, pinpoint pupils, and respiratory depression strongly suggest opioid intoxication. What makes fentanyl so dangerous? Well, it is dangerous because of its level of toxicity. It takes a very small amount to lead to an overdose. Oftentimes, those using fentanyl either don't know it is laced in other drugs that they're using, or the illegally produced fentanyl pill contains significantly more of the drug than the user thinks. What is methamphetamine? Well, it's a powerful, highly addictive stimulant drug that drastically affects the central nervous system. It's usually illegally produced and distributed. Meth comes in several forms, including powder, crystal, rocks, and tablets. When it comes to the crystal form, it's called crystal meth. Meth can be taken by swallowing, snorting, smoking, injecting it with a hypodermic needle. How is it made? Unlike drugs such as marijuana, cocaine, and heroin, which are derived from plants, meth can be manufactured using a variety of store-bought chemicals. The most common ingredients in meth is pseudoepinephrine or epinephrine, commonly found in cold medicine. Through a cooking process, the pseudoepinephrine or epinephrine is chemically changed into meth. The ingredients that are used in producing or making meth can include ether, paint thinner, freon, iodine crystals, red phosphorus, drain cleaner, battery acid, and lithium taken from inside batteries. Meth is often manufactured or cooked in very crude laboratories. There are two basic categories of meth labs. There are super labs, and they produce large quantities of meth and supply organized drug trafficking groups that sell the drug in communities across the United States. Most of the larger labs are controlled by Mexican drug traffickers operating in the United States and Mexico. Small toxic labs provide much smaller quantities of meth. These labs can be set up in homes, motel rooms, inside automobiles, and in parks or rural areas, really almost anywhere. According to the SAMHSA, about 2 million people aged 12 years of age or older use meth in any given year, while about 500 people each day try meth for the very first time. What are some of the street names for meth? Well, there are many names that it's called, but here are a few. It's just simply called meth, crystal, chalk, crank, ice, and speed. What is meth's effect on the body? Someone using meth may experience a temporary rush or sense of heightened euphoria, alertness, and energy. This is because meth increases the amount of dopamine, a natural chemical in the brain. Dopamine is involved in bodily movement, motivation, and reinforcing rewarding behavior. Meth rapidly releases high levels of dopamine into reward areas of the brain, making people want to continue to use it. With sustained use, a meth user can develop a tolerance to it. The user may take increasingly higher doses of meth, trying to catch that high they first experienced. They may take it more frequently or may go on binges. They may change the way they take meth. For example, a user may have started by taking a pill, but as they develop a tolerance for the drug, they may begin injecting it, and addiction is very, very likely. In the long term, a person using meth may experience irritability, fatigue, headaches, anxiety, sleeplessness, confusion, aggressive feelings, violent rages, and cravings for more meth, and also they may be depressed. They may become psychotic and experience paranoia, auditory hallucinations, mood disturbances, and delusions. The paranoia may lead to homicidal or even suicidal thoughts. A fairly common hallucination experienced by meth users is the so-called crank bug. The user gets the sensation that there are insects creeping on top of or underneath their skin. The user will pick at or scratch their skin trying to get rid of the imaginary bugs. Scratching can cause open sores and may become infected. What is meth mouth? Well, meth reduces the amount of protected saliva around the teeth. Meth users will sometimes grind their teeth and clench their jaws, and often this leads to what is commonly called meth mouth. Teeth can eventually fall out of serious users' mouth, even as they do such simple things as eat a sandwich. High doses of meth can elevate body temperature to dangerous, sometimes lethal levels. High doses can also cause convulsions. People can die as a result of using meth. What makes meth so dangerous? Well, methamphetamine is one of the most dangerous and addictive drugs in the world. When consumed, again, I'll just remind you, they can make you temporarily feel energetic or alert. But in reality, meth creates a false sense of energy and well-being. After the effects of the drug vanish, most people experience a severe crash, and that can lead to physical and mental breakdown alongside intense cravings. Continued use of meth can cause long-term mental health challenges, physical ailments, disease, addiction, and even death. I pray that God will use you to help educate and to spiritually guide those that you have charge of to avoid drug use. It's a killer. This is the end of this presentation.